Ladies and gentlemen, picture this. You wake up one day, check your phone, and see a name trending everywhere. Not a celebrity, not a politician, but a man whose story sounds almost too unbelievable to be true. His name? Kuraudo Toda. Intrigued? Buckle up, because by the end of this video you'll be amazed by the legacy of someone whose story isn't just inspiring, it's downright jaw-dropping. And stick around, because by the time we're done, you'll understand why Kuraudo Toda's name deserves a spot in history. Let's kick things off with a question. What drives someone to keep going, even when life throws obstacle after obstacle their way? Think about it for a second while we dive into one of the wildest journeys you'll ever hear. Born in Japan, Kuraudo Toda, or Cloud, as he was affectionately nicknamed, wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He didn't grow up in a wealthy family, and he certainly didn't have the kind of privilege that makes life easier for some. But what he did have was a fiery passion for two things: speed and pushing limits. You've heard of motocross legends pulling insane stunts, flipping dirt bikes like they're toys. Well, Kuraudo didn't just want to join their ranks. He wanted to outshine them. It all started when he was just 4 years old. That's when he first got on a bike, and from that moment on, he was hooked. He didn't just ride for fun, he lived for it. By the time he was a teenager, he wasn't just another kid riding dirt bikes in his hometown. He was becoming one of the most talented riders Japan had ever seen. But Cloud's dreams were never small. He wasn't content with being a local hero. No, he wanted to be the best in the world. His sights were set on the X Games, the ultimate proving ground for extreme sports athletes. But let's pause for a second. Have you ever had a dream so big that it scared you? The kind of dream that makes people say, "Yeah, right, good luck with that." Kuraudo had that kind of dream, and instead of letting the doubters get to him, he let them fuel his fire. He poured everything into motocross, training day and night, honing his skills until he was ready to take on the world. Then, tragedy struck. In 2008, while testing Suzuki factory bikes, Cloud was involved in a devastating crash. He was attempting what should have been a routine jump when something went horribly wrong. The bike flipped midair, and Cloud came crashing down. The impact shattered multiple vertebrae in his spine, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Imagine that for a moment. Everything he had worked for, every dream he had, seemed to be ripped away in an instant. Doctors told him he'd never walk again, let alone ride. For most people, that would have been the end of the story. But not for Cloud. This is where his story takes a turn that most people couldn't even imagine. Instead of giving up, he decided that this wasn't the end. It was just another challenge to overcome. Now let's break down what makes this so remarkable. Imagine being told you'll never do the one thing you love more than anything else. Most people would give up, right? But Cloud wasn't most people. He spent months in painful recovery and rehabilitation, refusing to accept that his riding days were over. He didn't just want to walk again. He wanted to get back on a bike, and not just for a leisurely ride. He wanted to compete. By 2013, after years of grueling therapy and training, Cloud did the unthinkable. He got back on a modified Suzuki RMZ 450. The bike was specially adapted so he could ride using only his upper body. Can you imagine the level of determination that takes? Just getting out of bed every day after an injury like that is hard enough, but Cloud wasn't interested in just getting by. He wanted to soar. Here's where things get even more incredible. Cloud didn't just get back on the bike. He started competing again. He trained harder than ever, proving to himself and the world that his paralysis didn't define him. He earned his nickname, Cloud, for his smooth, almost weightless riding style. Whether he was racing through corners or soaring over jumps, he made it look effortless. But don't be fooled. Every jump, every trick, came at a cost. Over the years, he faced countless injuries, broken bones, dislocated joints, crashes that would make most people quit. But every time he fell, he got back up. Well, figuratively speaking. You get the point. Before we dive deeper into the unbelievable story of Kuraudo Toda and his relentless journey of resilience and triumph, I need your help with something. I'm on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support would mean everything to me. If you're inspired by stories like Cloud's and want to hear more incredible tales of perseverance, please hit that subscribe button. It'll not only help the channel grow, but also allow me to keep bringing you amazing stories like this one. All right, let's get back to it. Now let's talk about the moment that put Cloud back on the world stage. In 2016, he was invited to train for the X Games, aiming to compete in the Best Whip contest. For those who don't know, the Best Whip is a showcase of style and skill, where riders throw their bikes sideways in midair and then snap them back to land smoothly. It's one of the most visually stunning events in motocross, and Cloud was determined to show the world what he could do. But life had one more cruel twist in store. In December 2015, Cloud was practicing whips at the 774 compound near Tokyo. He was using a foam pit, a safety tool designed to cushion riders as they practice dangerous tricks. But as Cloud landed one of his jumps, disaster struck. The bike's hot engine ignited the foam, and the pit went up in flames. Because of his paralysis, Cloud couldn't escape quickly enough. Despite the efforts of his friends and family, the fire spread too fast. Cloud was trapped. It's a tragedy that's hard to comprehend. Foam pits are meant to save lives, not take them. But in this case, the very thing designed to protect Cloud became the thing that took him away. His death sent shockwaves through the motocross community, raising serious questions about safety in extreme sports. Since then, efforts have been made to improve foam pit safety, including the use of less flammable materials and better emergency protocols. But nothing can undo the loss of someone as extraordinary as Kuraudo Toda. So, where does that leave us? Cloud's story is one of heartbreak, yes, but it's also one of triumph. He showed us what it means to fight for your dreams, no matter how impossible they might seem. He reminded us that setbacks don't have to define us, and that with enough determination, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. Let's take a moment to reflect on how Cloud's journey changed the world of motocross. His determination inspired countless riders to push their limits and to dream bigger than they ever thought possible. Even after his tragic passing, his legacy continues to influence the sport. Innovations in safety gear and practices have emerged, driven by the lessons learned from his story. And here's where you come in. What's the one dream you've always had but have been too afraid to chase? Maybe it's learning a new skill, starting a business, or simply stepping out of your comfort zone. Let Cloud's story be the push you need to take that first step. Because if he could overcome the odds, what's stopping you? Here's the question I'll leave you with. What's your impossible dream? What's the one thing you've always wanted to do, but you've been too scared to try? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found Cloud's story as inspiring as I did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more stories like this coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.